No one is more deserving of the prestigious AOH Sean MacBride Humanitarian Award than Geraldine Finucane, a tenacious leader in the cause of peace, justice, and the well-being of the Irish people. Since February 12, 1989, when her husband Pat, an extraordinary human rights attorney, was gunned down in their Belfast home in front of Geraldine and their 3 children, she has courageously advocated for an independent, judicial, public inquiry into British state collusion in her husband's assassination. Geraldine has testified 5 times in Washington at congressional hearings that I've chaired to advance reconciliation and peace in the north of Ireland. Throughout her campaign, she has stressed that, and I quote, "The truth must be exposed publicly so that the healing process can begin and peace can start to grow," close quote. Geraldine reminds us that the circumstances surrounding Pat's murder are, quote, "are about more than just the killing of one man. They are a high-profile example of what could happen to anyone and what did happen to many," close quote. Her bold and consistent message ignited a worldwide campaign, winning the endorsements of internationally recognized human rights groups, the United Nations, the European Parliament, the Irish government, the United States Congress, and multiple United States presidents. She has encouraged and inspired other victims' families to step forward and take a chance on justice and peace. When the British government betrayed a promise or delayed commitments, Geraldine litigated against them in domestic and international courts and won. Threatened by her relentless pursuit of the truth, the British government has exhibited embarrassing behavior unbecoming of a mature democracy. There is no statute of limitations on murder or on exposing government collusion, and there is no statute of limitations on the truth. Inexcusably, the British government altered a decades-old law to thwart the independent judicial public inquiry to which they had committed as part of the peace process. They altered the Inquiries Act and gave full power on disclosing information to the very agencies that were to be investigated. In March of 2005, Geraldine testified at one of my congressional hearings and said, and I quote, "I fight to resist this proposed law because I want to know the truth about the murder of my husband." She goes on, "I refuse to allow the British government to take away the truth as easily as it took away Pat's life." Over the years, the Finucane campaign has unearthed a steady stream of facts, clearly pointing to the British government's direct involvement in Pat's murder. Geraldine and family received an apology from Prime Minister David Cameron, admitting shocking levels of state collusion. However, the British government's apology is no substitute for the full exposition of the facts behind the involvement in Pat's murder and in others. While the British are fond of pointing out that 2 people have been identified for their part in Pat's murder, Geraldine's presses on, noting, and I quote her, "The key question is not who are the people pulling the triggers, but who are the people pulling the strings." It has been said in Northern Ireland that when the Finucane case takes a step forward, we all take a step forward. Geraldine has rightfully earned the special trust and confidence of people who have been victimized in Northern Ireland. By refusing to come clean in the Finucane case, the British government sadly continues a pattern of dishonorable and shameful cover-up. I want to thank Geraldine for her persistence and clarity of purpose. She was wounded that infamous day in 1989, but undeterred, with an indomitable spirit and resolve, and has bravely overcome decades of threats and smears. She has managed extreme disappointment and setback with grace and character, all while inspiring others to speak up and work for a better tomorrow in the north of Ireland. Special thanks to President Danny O'Connell and VP Sean Pender and the entire membership of the AOH for honoring Geraldine Finucane, a remarkably courageous, persistent, and inspiring human rights leader.